All right, I think we're gonna start. So, depending on where you are, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to a new Happy or Not webinar. We're super happy to see you all here. Today's topic includes our two new features called Contact Details and SSO. And this webinar is, of course, recorded, and you will get a link to the recording after the webinar, along with the presentation slides tomorrow. So look out for those. Let's have a quick look at our agenda for today. So we'll start with contact details and then move on to SSO. If you have any questions at any point, please write them to the chat and we'll get to them at the end of each section. Thank you. So I'm Nilu Piirainen, also just Nilu, the head of customer training and enablement here at HappyOrNot, and I'm located in the world's happiest country, Finland. Haha.
And I'm Liz Snope, our Customer Enablement and Training Manager, and I am here in our office in Delray Beach, Florida, and I am located in the world's best country, America.
Oh, there we go.
And we're so happy that all of you are here. So we're going to focus on contact details first. And as Neely said, I'm sure questions are going to pop up as we're going through everything. Please don't hesitate to type them in the chat box, and we are going to make sure we're taking breaks to answer those questions as we go along. Anything we're not able to answer, don't have time to answer in the session, we're going to make sure to send out all of those questions and answers in an FAQ with the recording in the slides when we send your follow-up information. So focusing first on contact details, this is a really exciting feature that we've recently rolled out that our customers have been asking for, and we're so excited to be able to tell you a little bit about it today. This gives you the opportunity at the end of your survey to collect contact details, which can give you further context and information and an ability to investigate the data and feedback you're getting from your customers or employees to make that data even more actionable. So this is something for our customers that's included if you have a professional package. This is already included in your professional package. It's not going to be something additional that you need to add to your contract. If you're not sure if you have a professional package or not, definitely reach out to your HappyOrNot salesperson or your CSM to get that information. So even though it is automatically included if you have a professional package, this is something that needs to be specifically enabled for you to be able to use this feature. Contact details can be used on your Smiley Touch. It can be used if you have Smiley Digital, and it also can be used through Smiley Link, like a QR with a terminal. And it is completely anonymous. It's completely optional for your feedback givers. So if they don't want to share their contact details, they do not have to, but they have the ability to at the end of the survey, like we said. So we're going to go through some information on how to enable your contact details, and then I'll go through a couple points, and Nilu is then going to screen share and show you a little bit of what that looks like on the analytics side. So the first thing you want to do if you're ready and you want to enable this feature is to reach out to your point person at HappyOrNot, whether that's your CSM or your salesperson, or if you're not sure who that person is, reach out to our support team. The link is included there for support, and let them know that you would like to enable contact details in your survey. After that, you're going to need to go through some steps to make sure that you've taken care of the legal loops that you need to close. So adding the details of the legal entity so that that's connected with the contact information, and making sure you have the right forms signed. You also have to make sure if you're deciding with your team that you're going to enable contact details, that you have the resources to follow up. So if you're asking people to give you their phone number or email because you want to reach out to them, make sure you have someone on the team or the resources on your team to actually reach out to them. And then Nilu is going to jump in and tell us a little bit further about enabling the legal side.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's change our views a little bit, and we go to HappyOrNot Analytics. So now we're in analytics, we would go to admin, and then you would go to organization settings. And if you scroll all the way down, you can see contact info settings here. And now, as Liz mentioned, although contact details feature is a part of the professional package, it needs to be separately enabled from our side first. And after it's enabled, you will then see this bit here. So you need to add the legal entity here in order to collect contact information from your feedback givers. The legal entity will basically handle the feedback givers' information, and it's also displayed on a data privacy page that is linked to the survey in question. So you would just click here, Add New, to add a legal entity. But I will show you, since we have a demo legal entity here already, I will open this one and show you what we have filled out. So usually it's the organization's name, and you put the contact email here, address, phone number, and at the end, here is where you then determine if you want to ask the contact or the feedback giver to leave their email or phone, or just one or the other. If you choose the first one, they can decide for themselves which one they want to leave for the contact request. Then you would just hit save, and that is it. And obviously now the next step is that you want to add an experience point or group to this legal entity. And all of the surveys that are attached to this experience point or group will then ask for the feedback giver's contact information from now on. Obviously, the feedback giver chooses if they want to leave that information or not, so that still remains optional. So here, I'll just show you. We have selected this experience point, and we have clicked save, and that is it. Now we have an experience point attached to this legal entity. Now, whenever someone then proceeds to leave their contact information, you will receive an email notification about that. And to get the notification, you need to subscribe to contact requests. Now, I will show you how you can do that. It's very easy, just like with any other subscription that you subscribe to in analytics, it's done in the same place. So you go to My Profile, Subscriptions, Add New, then you search for that experience point or group in question. And then the subscription type is contact request. Now, whenever someone leaves their contact information, you will receive an email about that. Then you just hit save, which I won't do now because I've already done it and it's nicely here. So that is pretty much it on this. I think Liz will move over to you. I'll stop sharing and you start sharing from there.
All right, perfect. So I'm sure you're curious what contact details actually look like in the survey flow. So we have here an example of a typical survey flow you would see with a smiley touch, smiley digital, or smiley link. You're still going to start with your main question, and then based on what you've decided to enable, you will likely have follow-ups and open feedback. Then after that, instead of just getting the regular thank you for your feedback message, it also has a contact detail option in there. So it'll still thank you, but then give the feedback giver an option to enter their contact information. So it'll ask us if they want us to contact you, and then have further information they can fill out that Nilu is going to demonstrate for us with an example digital survey.
Yeah. There we go. So here's just a regular smiley digital. you start with the main question. If there are a follow-up question and options available, you would proceed with that. This is great. Open feedback here. And then you would see this part asking for if you want to leave your contact information. You would click here as the feedback giver. Here you would choose, okay, I want to leave my email. Then it always asks for your name. Then you would put your email address here. And then they need to accept the privacy policy by clicking here. And this is where that legal entity information is visible. So when you added this information in the organization settings and you created the legal entity, this is where that information is visible for the feedback giver. And then just submit. And there you go. And now you would receive that email stating that someone by this name has asked for you to contact them. Nice and easy. And back to the presentation, we still have a bit about the contact details. Right.
So in terms of once you have it enabled and your survey flow is updated, viewing the data, right? Nilu's going to go into this.
Yeah. So it's good to note that all admins see the contact details data for those experience points or groups they have access to, and they can also create subscriptions for the contact requests. So this is good to keep in mind and to make sure that the right people will see this data. The feedback data and obviously the contact details data can be exported from analytics as an Excel file. And for privacy reasons, contact details are stored for only 30 days, after which they can no longer be exported and they will be deleted from the account.
Okay, thanks, Nilu.
Thank you.
Yeah, now we have some time for questions. And we would love it if you would type them in the chat. We want to answer a few here and now before moving on to the SSO. I already saw one in the chat that I wasn't sure which way to interpret, so I'm going to answer it both ways just to be sure. We had a question, can I have contact info for each smiley sent to the person over that smiley? So what I'm thinking that you're referring to is whatever admin is associated with that experience point for that smiley, can you subscribe them to get that contact information? Yes, okay, good. So absolutely. So that was what Nilu demonstrated with the subscriptions, that you can choose who you want to subscribe to get the information for the contact details once it's set in, and you decide your data access levels for those experience points. Just know, like Nilu was saying, if you have an admin that's assigned for that experience point, they are automatically going to be able to see that data and contact information coming in. So choose wisely with who has admin status, but it is up to you to choose what the subscription is. Anything I missed there?
No, you got it.
Okay. Good. No problem. Any other questions about contact details?
Is it possible to only request email address and remove the option for phone number? So yes, that is determined in the legal entity part. So when you're setting that up, the last part in the form was you can either choose email or phone, or just email, phone. So if you choose the email or phone option, then it's up to the feedback giver to choose which one they want to leave. If you choose or put their phone, then that's the only possibility for them is to leave the phone number. Or if you choose email, then they can only leave their email address. So yes, you can determine which one they can leave for the contact request.
Great question. So I think just in terms of timing, we're going to move on to talk about the SSO, but if you still have questions, please type them into the chat because we'll have that information for future reference and we'll be able to answer it in our follow-up resources that we send out.
Yep.
So we're going to move on now to discussing SSO, which is another new exciting feature that we have able to enable for our customers, also called single sign-on. So single sign-on, if you're curious as to what it is, it's going to allow your users to access multiple applications through one set of login credentials. So basically, with using HappyOrNot, instead of having to use your individualized password and email that we've set up for you, you can choose to connect it with whatever SSO your organization is already using for other applications. This is going to save time for the users in your organization. It's also going to take some burden off your IT department because it's less credentials for them to have to track, especially when people are saying, I don't know my password, I don't know how to log in specifically for this organization. And it's also going to improve security. So there's a lot of benefits to enabling SSO for your organization, especially if you're a larger organization. So SSO is an add-on feature. So it's not something that comes already bundled in with something like professional package. It's something that you would need to reach out to your CSM or salesperson to add to your contract or your subscription. Like I was already saying, it simplifies the login. It makes it efficient and fast. It's something that's very easy to enable for our analytics and our new academy that we've just rolled out. And it supports SAML 2.0, and you can use whatever SSO you already have set up in terms of the main ones we offer, like Microsoft, Okta, AWS, and Google. Those are going to redirect from those and authenticate and allow you to log into analytics through the SSO you already have enabled.
Okay, thank you. So firstly, you need to make sure that your organization has the SAML 2.0 integration created for your identity provider or IDP. And then after that, you need to configure HappyOrNot Analytics as the service provider for the SAML SSO application. And this whole thing might sound gibberish to you, but I assure you that for someone who knows anything about these integrations, these are all very normal procedures. So don't worry about that. And this is usually done by your organization's technical experts. And also good to note that we don't have access to your IDP information, and therefore we can't do this for you. So this is something that has to be set up from your side. Yeah, I think now I will show a quick demo for you. So we're going to analytics again. There we go. So after all that has been done, it's then time to configure the HappyOrNot organization SSO settings, and this can be done only by the admin users of your account. So let's have a look. So we would go to admin, organization settings, and then you find a place where it says single sign-on SAML configuration. I will open the edit here so you can see a bit better. So this is where you would then add the XML file or manually edit the required fields, but the XML upload is by far the easiest way to configure information. And normally organizations get this file directly from their IDP provider. So you would just click choose file and upload the file from your device and then hit save, and that is it. Then the integration is up and running. After that, you would want to then determine which users will be able to use the SSO login method. So we go to users, and this is something again that only the admin can do. So on the top, you can see this mass edit possibility called manage login methods. This is basically an easy way to change the login method for all users within your access rights. And it's good to know that the user can't no longer use the email or password for logging in if you change the login method to SSO. And they will receive an email stating that their login method has been changed, and it will ask them to use single sign-on from there on. So when you're just starting out with the SSO, we recommend to test it first with a few selected users and only then apply for all once you've seen everything to be working correctly. If you happen to have, for example, third-party email domains that are not supported by your identity provider, it's good to provide here or determine here your organization's domain. So, for example, because then the SSO will work only for addresses containing this domain. So those users who don't have access to the SSO should not be configured to use it either, because in that case, they won't be able to log in, and then the admin would have to go and change their login method back to email and password, and that's just not a very great experience. So be careful with the mass edits, and if your users have different email domains, that's good to keep in mind. So usually the IDPs can support multiple email domains though, so check that in case that is relevant for your organization. I'll quickly also show you how you can change the login method user by user, so just for one user at a time. So you just select a user, and here in the first section, you click edit on the right, and here you can see the login method. So this is where you would change it for that user. Again, they would receive an email about it and know that, okay, my login method has been changed. So there we go. Back to you, Liz.
All right. So really that is a good overview of these two new features, Contact Details and SSO. We'd love to take any questions that you have about the SSO. I want to note as well that while Neely was going through that information, we got a question regarding the QR in terms of contact details. So I just wanted to mention that yes, if you have a Smiley terminal, and you want to use a QR code with that Smiley terminal, which is accessible to you in analytics for everyone for Smiley terminals, then you absolutely can, and you can pull contact details through the digital part of the survey. You just need to make sure that you have the professional package enabled that allows you to do that. And a good hack for knowing if you have a professional package or not is, are you using alerts? Are you using foresight? If you have those things already enabled, that means you're on the professional package.
Good tip.
Yeah. Any other questions regarding contact details or all the information we just went through for SSO?
I mean, SSO is pretty much used, very widely used already. So I'm sure a lot of you, have experience with using SSO and how the whole thing works. So it's not anything, shiny and new, but this is definitely a handy feature for any bigger organization, and makes it so much easier for the user as well. I mean, I personally love it when I don't have to remember tons of different credentials when I'm logging into places. So it's definitely a lifesaver in that sense. So yeah, we're happy that it's possible now for our customers to use SSO as well to log into analytics.
Yes, as someone who is really terrible at remembering her passwords, I also truly appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions come through, but of course you can always follow up with your Happy or Not point person, whether again it's your salesperson, your CSM, or if you're not sure, we've included the support contact information that you can reach out to support as well. So we really appreciate everybody being here and participating. We would absolutely love to hear your feedback. We are a feedback company, so we want to hear that feedback from you about this training opportunity. We can go ahead and share that link in the chat box in 1 second. But the survey will also be included with the thank you message. Nilu, anything else to share for wrapping up?
No, I guess not. I mean, join us again next time and stay tuned. Follow our newsletter and our other channels, LinkedIn, Handbook, for updates on any new webinars. We have them coming up all throughout the year. So see you next time.
Yes, we'd love to see you again. Come back for another training opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.